You're listening to the Business and Beyond podcast on Next Gen Media. This is episode 35. I'm Ashton sitting here in the Apogee Grafix Studio. And right now, Tony is in beautiful, at least where I can see, Galveston, Texas right now. What's going on?
Hey, what's happening, man? It is beautiful here. It's probably 65 right now. Obviously the sun just went down a few hours ago, and it's a little breezy and cool. It's hoodie weather, but man, it's absolutely beautiful here this weekend.
Yeah, temperature's probably about the same as up here, but it's really muggy today. Really
I
cloudy.
think it was slightly warmer. I think it was slightly warmer up there than it was down here. I think it only got like in the low 70s here today.
Yeah, but it's not the same when you're getting that ocean breeze all day.
Yeah.
It's a different temperature. It's a little more humid usually. Maybe not right now.
Yeah,
I don't know, but
Even
definitely
now-
in
even
June
now
when we
it's-
go.
Yeah, no, it's really humid right now. Even at night here, everything we have setting outside is collecting dew. Yeah, it's really humid, man, but it's absolutely beautiful here this weekend.
Yeah, I can see what you got going on in the background here. I
Yeah,
guess
some
on a
palm
second story
trees.
patio.
Yeah, second story here, right? We're looking out at the back. What you can't see in the dark is the bay, right out behind us there. So we pretty much spent all weekend there, out on the kayaks and fishing, and just really enjoying it. So I can tell you one thing, man. Spring break, and with Texas lifting the mask mandates now, it's absolutely opened up here in Galveston this weekend. Huge car shows going on, big dance events with youth, dance teams. We've seen them all over down Seawall Boulevard. We went down to the Strand today. Just absolutely packed everywhere we went. So that's good. Good for the economy.
Are you down there all week?
No, we'll be heading back tomorrow, actually. We just came down for the weekend.
So you pick the one weekend where you're going to lose an hour to go on a vacation.
Yeah, I think we're about ready. This was just a one weekend. We'll be back down here this summer to spend a whole week, but
Yeah.
this is just a good weekend. It was either this weekend or next weekend, and we figured come the weekend before everyone's on spring break. My wife and kids are all off next week for spring break, so we thought it would be better to do it this weekend, and they've got all week to do whatever. It'd be a little harder next weekend to come back on Sunday, and then everyone have to turn around and go back to school on next Monday. So it just seemed to work out well for us, though.
Yeah, well, that's great that you're having a good vacation right now. Sorry to interrupt that. I mean, we have business to get to, business and
Yeah,
beyond.
always
to get
business, man. But I think any opportunity we have to do a show remote like this, we're gonna take that opportunity, man. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun putting together the whole production.
Well, there was no way I was going to let you out of it and interrupt your vacation because I was there last year in Galveston when we had a show too. We
Yeah.
should have done it at
Yeah.
night because we did it during the day, and I guess the video turned out right, but it was a lot brighter. This at night just looks
Yeah. Yeah,
perfect, and the
this
lights on the
seems to be
back.
good, huh? You get the patio lights there on the balcony and the palm trees blowing in the wind. Yeah, this is pretty much the perfect view we could have for tonight.
Good. What are y'all doing tonight? Are y'all watching movies or anything like that?
Yeah, I think they've got movies going. We've been spending so much time. I think nobody's been really paying attention to that. I think they're all sitting in the kitchen table. Looks like they're playing Uno. And we just got done snacking. We went and ate earlier today at a really cool place. Huli Huli. It's kind of off the Strand.
Mm-hmm.
Just really, really good food, man. Real authentic stuff. Island kind of food. Man, we're just been chilling out, drinking a lot of beer. Had a Bloody Mary earlier. It's actually a cucumber dill Bloody Mary.
Really?
So
That
that's really good, man. I'm gonna have to get some of that mix, man. We're gonna have to try that. It turned out really good.
Yeah, you can't go very far into a Business and Beyond episode without jumping into cocktails and alcoholic drinks.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, so
I
now
don't.
I'm chasing that down with this Galveston Island Tiki wheat beer. It's here brewed right here on the island in Galveston. So I've got quite a few beers that we've got our fridge stocked with this week. So
Yeah, I stopped judging alcoholic drinks when I got when we were down in Galveston last year. I can't remember what it was called. Something heat, but it had jalapenos in it. And I think I read that after I'd ordered it. And I thought, oh man, I shouldn't have. But it was really good and it was spicy.
a mixed drink.
It was like a mojito with jalapenos,
okay.
basically. I can't remember. Something heat is what it was called.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back on. I know I put it on Facebook back then, but it had jalapenos in it. I would have never ordered it if I would have, I guess, paid that much attention to it. But it was really good. It was kind of getting your spice, but you're also drinking, so it was, when you have to drink something after eating something spicy, it was like all one sensation all at once. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just going with, what am I drinking? Crown Royal, that's right. Because I'm out of TX whiskey and I'm out of Woodford Reserve, so Crown's a pretty solid third choice though. I got plenty back there. If you can see if you're watching on YouTube, behind me, you see my liquor cart there. Got plenty. But
we need TX to go ahead and hook us up with some whiskey, man. We're going through it too fast.
Seriously, you just bought some. I don't know that it was a full bottle, but it was pretty close. And it lasted 2 episodes.
It was a full bottle. Week before last, so yeah.
I mean, I know we went through a bottle one episode one time with Tyler, and that was a long episode. And Tyler,
it was.
Episodes that Tyler's in, you see, he's like the unofficial bartender, so you don't even have to think that you need another drink. He's filling it up, so you're just constantly drinking.
He's a heavy pourer. He pours heavy, so.
Yeah. So
speaking of Tyler. I mean, we're going to get him on, man. I know we keep promising everyone he's going to be back with us, but he will be back with us soon. Possibly next weekend. Hopefully, we're going to get that set up where he can be with us next weekend. But everyone's busy, man. All these schedules, that we're trying to get together, and sometimes it's hard. It's hard enough just the two of us. I mean, I'm out of town now, and we're still trying to get the show done. So,
I mean,
we're still trying to get him. We got Anthony. He's lined up. When we say we schedule or line people up, we don't have anything set in stone with a date. It's just, hey, you're on the lineup. Whenever you can get here, we're ready for you, kind of thing.
Yeah, because when we give people advice, I mean, it's the same advice we're taking for ourselves. We all have full-time jobs and side hustles. You and I have kids. Tyler doesn't yet, but there's specific days it all lines up, and sometimes Tyler's a lot busier than us, which is weird to say, but with his job, because he didn't have kids or anything. But there's only specific days that work for him. And if we just had to wait on Tyler, I mean, we do one show every other month, and that just wouldn't work. So
not a knock on Tyler, just
no, he's just really busy. I mean, you and I are flexible enough where there's a few days there options. Tyler usually has 1 day a week he can do it, and that usually doesn't work for us.
It has to work with our schedules as well, and it's hard.
Yeah, because
Tyler is still part of the show, and he's still a big part of the content that we talk about every week.
We've sort of gotten into the habit of recording on Friday nights, late Friday night. Well, 31-year-old dad late. It's 9-10 o'clock right now. That's late to me. Late Friday night, and I think when Tyler does it, it's like 11 o'clock on a Sunday or something weird like that. So that's all. We hadn't killed Tyler off or anything. He's definitely still going to be on the show.
And did you want to mention, that's something that Tyler will be a big part of, is the on our site. I'm trying to think of what our website with blogs and write-ups.
Yes, that's coming down the pipes pretty soon. We're trying to figure out exactly how we want to do it. We talk about it a lot. There's always stuff coming down the pipes with us, whether it's getting on YouTube or a new studio or whatever it is, we always are looking ahead, which we advocate for. Just, it comes up just about any episode. We'll say always be looking forward and have vision, because you don't rush things, but always be looking at where you're going. So when you have time, you can kind of figure that out. And man, I'm going to butcher it, but it's up now, but we don't have it. It's business. There's no and. It's businessbeyondpodcast.wordpress.com. I'll get it figured out once we have it up. We'll put the link down below. But yeah, there's going to be more content coming up from us. Like you said, blogging, articles, things like that, where there's stuff we really want to get out there, but it takes a lot of the time when we want to talk about it, it takes away from the subject, and we kind of have a plan of what we want to talk about, and stuff will pop up, and a lot of times we'll go off subject, and we do it on here, but man, we could sit here and talk for 3 or 4 hours and have long episodes if we just said everything we were thinking. So we're going to start trying to condense that, where you, me, Tyler, whoever wants to, really, it's not necessarily just for us.
We'll leave it
but
open.
We're going to be on there
for a lot of people.
where if you want more content, there's going to be articles and blogs.
Yeah, you'll see a lot from Tyler on that. He's well articulated, but especially in writing, it's a lot easier for him to get. He brings a lot of the fun and openness to the show, where to get his seriousness comes through his writing. So that's where we're going to see a lot more, even more in depth from Tyler is going to be on that side in blogs. And
you'll probably get more opinionated type stuff. I know we get opinionated on here. Not that we don't try to, but we like to just put knowledge out there more than anything, and just facts.
Exactly.
And we're going to put our 2 cents in. It's inevitable. It'd be a boring, vanilla show if we didn't put our cents in there. But you're going to know our opinions on a lot of things based on the articles we're going to be putting on their blogs, articles, whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be something where, just like episodes, something you want to hear about, like I said, maybe what you want to hear about, we can't really put it into an entertaining episode, or it's not broad enough for us to talk about for an hour, so maybe we'll write about it, or just anything like that, things you want to hear about, information. It's going to be very flexible when we get into that. So I was talking about you were y'all watching any movies tonight, and I was going to warn you, I'm not sure your Netflix situation, if you're borrowing passwords or not, but Netflix is starting to... We're going to plead for now, because we're on air and we're on YouTube. I'm going to plead the 5th on that. Yeah. But go ahead. You never know who's listening. Maybe Netflix will do a documentary about us. Did you? Yeah. Okay, before we get to that, did you see Netflix is going to make a documentary about the last Blockbuster? I saw the headline of the story. I didn't read into it, but I did see it. It's supposed to be live on Monday. Content? I just read the headlines. Monday it's supposed to be available. Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was going to be that quick.
I thought that's what I saw, the 15th is. And I could be wrong. Maybe it was something else I was seeing.
Yeah, nobody ever reads the content. They just read the title.
Yeah, clickbait.
Yeah, clickbait. Unless you're going to read our content on the Business and Beyond website. Yeah, you definitely want to read. We're not really that into clickbait. We like to think of catchy names for our episodes, but we're not going to go all out like some news sources do. But yeah, I thought that was weird. That's an ironic twist, because Netflix is kind of the reason Blockbuster isn't around anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
and now they are.
We can go deep into it, and it's really Blockbuster's lack of adapting, but Netflix kind of put them in the grave, and then now they're doing a documentary about them, which I will watch. I like Blockbuster a lot more than I like Netflix, but yeah, it is Monday.
Yeah, it is Monday the 15th. It'll be available on Netflix. So
Monday.
If you don't have your own account, borrow your friend's password.
Yes, because that's why we're talking about it. So I don't know. I say crackdown. I don't know if they're going to do anything about it yet, but there are going to be warnings. I don't know if it's everybody's or unless they just sense it's suspicious because you're logging in from a weird device, maybe. I don't know. It's weird. It can't be. We used to have PlayStation View, and we have people. We share our Amazon password, Netflix, and things like that. And we shared that with them, and it wouldn't let them watch it because it wasn't. It maybe the same zip code, or I don't know how it recognized that it wasn't being streamed from there. But I can stream it on my phone. I watch Netflix other places on my phone, so I don't know how they're really going to crack down on it, or if they're just putting warnings up. But it's going to say, basically, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but is this your account, or is this somebody, or no, is the person paying for this account or the owner of this account living with you, or something to that extent. So they're getting pretty serious about it. You might have to just fork over. Not you, because I know you allegedly, non-allegedly don't do that, but you as the listener, if you're doing that.
I don't see how they're going to be able to. Yeah, I just don't see how they're going to be able to completely police that.
I mean, I have Netflix. Okay, white privilege here. So I do not mean that as a racial thing at all once I talk about why white privilege. First world privilege, I guess. I have a TV here in the studio. I have a TV out on our back porch. We have 4 TVs inside. All of them have capability, and they're logged into Netflix. I have it on my iPad. I have it on, I think, my computer, on my phone. So I have it logged in on a bunch of different devices. So I don't know what's going to flag that it's...
Yeah, I mean, how's it... Yeah, exactly. How's it going to know that you don't have your iPad at another location, at work or another place?
I mean, it knows. Like, if I log on something on Fire TV, my phone, like, depending on what it is, my phone will go off, hey, was this you? And it'll say Fire TV, whatever. So I guess if it's not, because it knows if it's a phone or an iPad or a Fire TV, so it obviously knows where you are. Let's not be naive about it. Your phone knows where you are all the time. Everybody does. Yeah. So if you're not where your residence is, and it's not an iPad or a phone, maybe.
But what if I travel? What if I'm on the road and I travel?
That's true. Occasionally when we go to Galveston, I'll take a TV with me. Yeah. Hook my PlayStation up to it or whatever. So I don't know. Somebody who's more techie, maybe, Patrick, if he listens to our shows, which I doubt he does. We'll find out if he does. We'll call him out right now, and if he listens to our show here,
we will see.
Yes, Patrick, or somebody who's more technically inclined than I am. I'm a millennial, but I don't understand. I know somebody's listening right now and saying, "Oh gosh, y'all are idiots. It works like this. I don't know why." But if you do, message us and let us know.
I get the point that they can track you. They know where you're logging in from. IP addresses or however all of that works. Where cell towers you're pinging off of. But if that, how do they know that I don't own that device? That I don't own that? I don't see how they can police that.
So,
because what if I have a house here in Galveston and I have a house back at home? I'm going to be logged into my account both places, right?
Yes.
So how can they police that?
I think they're starting off by warning you, so you're actively saying, nope, that's not the case. So you're obviously, if you're lying, you're obviously lying about that. You're not going to say, yes, it's not mine.
Yeah.
So maybe down the road said, hey, you said this, so per our terms and services, I don't know, they're going to deactivate your account, which you can just open a new one up with a new email address. I don't know how that's going to work. Or how they're even going to, not only how they're going to police that, what's going to, like, what are the penalties? What's going to happen if...
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that is kind of a big deal. If you have to set up a new account, you have to re-log in and everything. But
exactly.
I do vaguely remember, I don't know that it was Netflix, but it was a few years ago. And you were only allowed to log in, I think it might have been Netflix, log in so many different devices because when I would log into something, I would have to delete some other device. So maybe you only have 5 or 6, this many devices that you're allowed to stream from.
Yeah.
And once you log in, you're logged in
Which
on
is
those.
like
And
that
then
anyways now. It is like that now with Netflix.
it is?
Because that's why they have different package sizes. They have a base package that
Well,
I think
maybe we
allows
just
you
have a
to
big pack.
do.
Wow, I almost said something that you could take and record. Maybe we just have a deluxe package where I can. Because I just got a new phone. I just got a new
I know where you're going
phone.
with that, and I think you're right. But you can log in as many devices as you want. You can only stream so many devices at the same
Well, yeah,
time.
yeah, we have that. I know because I always have to kick my kid off, but I mean, we have so many streaming options. It's just to watch something else. But no, I know you can only stream, like watch at the same time. But no, there was a time when I would log in on something. It would say, hey, you have to delete, and it would say like, here's this TV, here's this iPad, and I have to delete one. It may not have been Netflix, but it was something to that. It's a streaming service or something.
Yeah.
Somebody who's read a lot of articles on the subject, maybe chime in and tell us what they plan on doing, other than all I've seen was they're planning on having a little thing pop up, and I don't know if it's all the time. I don't know if it's just when they suspect something suspicious, but there's a disclaimer pop up and you have to say yes or no. But then again, if you're already doing this, are you not going to hit?
Well, I did see it. That is all it is. So people were already finding ways to trick it if you and a group of friends are sharing it. And we're not suggesting you share it. This is just information we've been told, is you create a general email address and everyone has the login to it, and that's the email address that the account is set up to.
I mean, speaking of Patrick, we have that, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I'm sure no one's listening for it to matter. But Stadia, that's like Google's version of, your video game system. So he had a free one for whatever reason. So he gave it to me, and I logged in or whatever and created my account. But then he tried to add me to his family thing or whatever, which I can't because we have YouTube TV. I'm already have my own family of Gmail accounts, I guess it is. So we just used a different one of my emails and logged in so I could have all his games that he's already paid for, and I don't have to, buy them, which I guess they allow you to have family. I just use a different email address, but, whatever. I guess technically it's not the same.
The Amazon accounts, you can do the same thing. You can have multiple in a family share the same account.
Oh yeah, I'm not even going to talk about Amazon. I mean, I think Patrick pays the Prime membership, and then I'm attached to him, and then I have like 5 or 6 people that have my login. I mean, they create their own name and address and everything. See, Amazon could really crack down on that because they say because there's 4 different names, 5 different addresses, 10 different credit cards. I mean, I'm glad, if Amazon starts to crack down. I mean, although I'm not doing it illegally, I'm just allowing other people to do it illegally on my account. If anybody
that's how we do it.
Amazon or Netflix
in our household, Amberly and I both have our own login on the same Prime account, and then Landon now also has a teenage account that he can purchase on Prime.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Y'all all live in the same house.
Yeah. And I think that's more what Amazon's,
is
set up for, intended for.
Well, that helps them. They don't care if you share because I'll tell you, there's a lot of stuff we won't necessarily order if we're not getting free 2-day shipping on it. Netflix isn't getting anything out of it. I guess they're losing money. I mean, if you're using somebody, okay, let's say if you're listening to this episode and you're using somebody else's account, we won't tell on you. Let us know if they somehow banned it and you weren't allowed. Would you pay for an account? Would you open up an account? I would suspect you would because you.
That's a good poll to put up. To see even if you do have a paid account.
Yeah, if you were in that situation, yeah.
Yeah, if you were in that situation, you were locked out. Would you be willing to?
Well, normally I would think
pay for your own account.
Well, not long ago I would think people would say no, I wouldn't. But now there's so many.
If I were in that position, I would.
Yeah, because it's not that expensive, and
no.
they have so much original content. It's not like well, I could just maybe Amazon Prime has that, maybe Hulu has that, but they have a lot of original exclusive content that.
That's what I was going to. Netflix has done a really good job to get you locked in and sucked into their original content and series that you're not going to go anywhere because you don't want to lose it. Same with, things like HBO and some of their series,
Yes.
they had exclusively. You were going to keep those services, keep those channels specifically because it was proprietary to them.
Speaking of which, my wife just got a new phone. So AT&T, got us to get to unlimited internet. I mean, we were grandfathered in. We had an old data plan, but we have unlimited now. So we do have HBO Max, and they have some pretty good. They have some pretty good content on there. I know we had
for the kids. There's a lot of good stuff for the kids.
Well, that's funny. I'm gonna have to up their TV rating, what they can watch, because they were watching the new Looney Tunes. That's what's called, the new Looney Tunes. And so I said, let's watch the old ones. And I was trying to get on there you can't. It's blocked. The old Looney Tunes show.
Because of guns.
I was watching one of them, and it was, I guess Bugs Bunny's really featured on it, and Yosemite Sam. Yeah. And he was robbing a bank, and I don't remember him shooting a gun, but he had a gun. So I'm not sure why it's
probably that.
There's something to do that. But, I mean, he was in the new Looney Tunes, he was robbing a bank. That's a whole nother discussion. But we had Apple TV, a free trial of that. So I did, and I didn't really find anything that I liked on there. I never watched it. But HBO Max, there's a lot. Like they have, if you're a Rocky movie fan, they have entire Rocky series on there. They even have a lot of shows like The Middle and Big Bang Theory and that you can watch, and there's a lot of random movies. So Netflix is pretty similar in the same way, where they have the original content and other content as well, forever how long that is if everybody gets their streaming service. But I mean, you have Ozark, you have Stranger Things, you have what's the Cobra Kai, which is funny because the first season was like YouTube something streaming, whatever it was.
Was it?
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't very highly rated. I had never heard of it until.
I didn't see it until they already had through this past year. So when they already had the third season.
Netflix got it, and they had season 2, and I watched season 2, and then I realized, wait, that's season 2, and I went back and there's season 1, but season 1 was on something else and wasn't. I'd never heard of it. I mean, I heard of Karate Kid obviously, but not the show. So I actually watched season 2 first. So YouTube, I guess, totally botched this. Nobody watched it. But once you put it on Netflix, it's one of the. It's a pretty cheesy show. I mean, but yeah, it's very, very popular.
I enjoyed it. You get sucked in it to a point where you're going to continue to watch it, and I'm somewhat looking forward to season 4. I think they're filming now.
Yeah, and 4. They're. And it's crazy. It's kind of like all the Marvel movies, and you see all these things, rumors, like who's going to be the villain and what's going to happen here. It's crazy that is, and I don't notice it until I'm looking at it. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to click on that, and like, what am I doing? But because I had seen some of the Karate Kid movies, but after the last season, I went back and watched all of them just to catch up with. I guess the whole storyline, which I think is very important, because when you have like a movie series like that, and then you go into a TV series, they're going to be referencing that a lot. So if you haven't seen Cobra Kai and you're going to, I would suggest watching all the Karate Kid movies if you hadn't seen them, because every season they're referencing, because there's a shock value or shock value that's lost that they're counting on when you don't watch them. Like they're definitely reaching back and pulling.
I think it'll be harder to get sucked into if you haven't seen or don't understand the Karate Kid, the original ones. And actually, you can go back and watch the original Karate Kids for free. I believe it's on the IMDb TV.
Yeah, it is. If you have Fire Stick or Fire TV.
I had it planned,
That's exactly, you can search for it, and it tells you what apps you can watch it on. And that's what it was. It was IMDb, but
IMDb.
DB.
IMDb.
I But yeah, that's like you just search and, that's before you go and rent a movie, if you know what you're looking for, search it on Prime or on Fire Stick, because it'll tell you whether it's on Prime, or even if you have to pay for it, it'll tell you the best way, the cheapest way, especially if you already have an app, rather than, because nobody just has Netflix, nobody just has Hulu. If you're, what I have Netflix, I have Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, IMDb, Prime Video. I have everything, and I can just search it on there, and it'll tell me where the best place to watch it is.
Yeah.
If you know what to watch, that's the big if these days, because sometimes you have no clue what you want to watch. You're just going to pick an app and find some noise to be on.
That's something that we talked about it a couple weeks ago, I believe, and may have even briefly mentioned it last week. We have the Discovery Plus now, and we've cut the cord completely. We've cut the cord from cutting the cord. We have no live TV. Everything we have is, Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, Netflix, the Amazon Prime, whatever they have, HBO Max. So just these apps. So we're only streaming, no live streams. And I find it a little more challenging. I think we're going to work through it. We're figuring it out. It's a little more challenging when you turn on the TV. We sit down, just to eat, and we just want something on.
Yeah.
Is you actually have to go through and find something to watch. There's not just, okay, put it on that channel, whatever's on's going to play. Actually have to go and find something. So it's a little different.
We still have YouTube TV. We're waiting it out because there's a few things that we still watch. It's not necessarily for the live. I know sometimes we'll still turn on the news in the morning while we're getting ready or whatever, but we can definitely do without that. But there's a couple things I know. Before we cut the cord, it was a couple of shows on MTV and another something, and eventually they all reached deals with streaming services. So we like I said, we went to PlayStation View a couple of years ago. We've had YouTube TV since then, but we have as much TV as we need from other reasons. Like I said, we have HBO Max because we have unlimited internet on our AT&T phone plan. We had Disney Plus, and we thought, well, for was it $5 more a month, we can get Hulu and ESPN, and then of course we already had Netflix, and then we had Fire TVs. And one big thing, like I wouldn't want to switch, is because take off YouTube TV, is we like to watch The Office when we go to sleep, and they took that off of Netflix, but YouTube TV has it. I don't know what you can call it, on demand. We set it up to record, but we can watch any episode, any season. So other than Peacock TV, because right now they're not compatible with Fire Stick or Fire TV, so we can't even download that streaming service. If somebody else knows of another service we could use and have The Office, it'd be very much appreciated. Comment down below and let us know, or get a hold of me on Facebook, because that's kind of 80% of why we won't switch from YouTube. There's a couple other things.
Why you even own TVs?
The Office, yes. And I know, don't tell me we could buy the series for $40 or whatever, and like that's cheaper than a month. But it's, I don't even know where a DVD player is in my house. There's one somewhere, and I have my PlayStation, but I wonder how much it cost to buy it, where I could stream it or download it. I don't know. Yeah, but don't say that, because I couldn't even play it.
Just stream.
Yeah. Yeah, DVDs are kind of a pain for me, which is kind of weird to say. 10 years ago they'd be complete opposite. It'd be but yeah. Anywho, we're talking about the stimulus just passed, the $1,400. Well, there's a lot more in there, but most
signed in on.
Yeah, the only thing most people care about. Yes. A couple differences is now they don't have the, what do you want to call it? If you make over a certain amount, you get a little bit less and a little bit less. Now there's a cutoff. You either get it or yes. And I don't know if it's because our account or whatever set up when we do our taxes, but every time there's been a stimulus, I guess this is the third one, we've always gotten ours within a couple of days of them announcing it. So we already have ours. And then there's a couple of people we've asked about, and they said they don't have theirs, and they use the same bank. So it's not necessarily. I know some banks will hold it, but you can still see it pending.
Yeah.
But some people don't even see it in their accounts at all.
I think just to keep from crashing the system. Yeah, that's that they have to.
But I guess there's some, whatever you want to call it. I guess some entity or account we have with the IRS is that ours is always the same. So I'm wondering. Somebody else who has to wait a while for it. If y'all doing direct deposit, and it's going to be direct deposit in y'all's account. Has it so far taken about the same amount of time? I would guess. If it takes a couple of weeks for you, does it take a couple of weeks, for all the stimulus checks? And I'm wondering. I would guess that
timeline.
Because we get ours not to brag or anything.
About the same.
Yeah, like seriously, it was
the same timing
within a couple of days. Yeah. Hopefully, by the time you listen to this, you have yours. If you're not you, Tony, but our listeners. So nobody hates me for having that.
Yeah, no, I think it's very debatable. The entire stimulus thing, all of this is very debatable, but there is a lot of good things out of it. And the $14 what's going out to the public is such a small amount of the whole bill. I think that's more debatable, but.
Yeah, and there's some small business and unemployment.
And need help. Yeah.
And there's some that go to other countries. And there's a lot there. But, okay, for one, you're not going to please everyone. You never will. It's almost better to please no one than everyone. But, two, also, if you follow politics in any capacity, you know that you're, what's the right word? You're settling for something. If you want anything done, you're going to have to work with other people, whether that's a different party affiliate or even someone in your same party. There's a lot that goes on. So we're not advocating that this is a good or bad for the country in the end, because obviously it adds a lot to the deficit. But
it's debatable. It's not something that the kind of things we debate on this show.
No, we're more just for informational. But there are some things that $1,400 can go a long way for. Not necessarily, you see the memes on Facebook. If $1,400 will do this much for you, imagine what getting a job will do. Well, there are a lot of people who have small businesses that are going to, push that into the economy like it should. I know some people think, oh no, you're supposed to use this for essential things, which can, is smart if you haven't worked a lot during this, if you're having trouble making rent. But this is a stimulus check. It's to stimulate the economy because the economy's kind of been stagnant. So what you're supposed to do is throw it back in, whether it's investing or buying. Don't just necessarily throw it into your savings if you need to throw it into your savings because you have a savings goal, like, my wife does. Some of this is going to our savings, but, we use it to pay off a small little credit card we have. There are people, if you need a new TV, if whatever you want to use it for, if all your needs are met, nobody should judge you for using it for, because that's what it's for, stimulating the economy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then especially for the small businesses as well, that's, the small businesses, they need that help to continue to grow and push building just to get over the hump. There's still a lot of regulations, even though Texas has lifted, a lot of big companies still have mask mandates and things. So things aren't back to 100% and things aren't perfect.
Yeah, here in Texas, I'll tell you, I've haven't missed.
We have listeners from all over the world. It's different all over the world. We're in Texas. It's a completely different animal than anyone else. Anyone else, I'm sure, can speak to this. And other states have heard that, our governors lifted the mandate, but that's not the case everywhere.
Yeah, especially in California. I know they have a lot more sanctions on them. But, you're going to use it for what you're going to use it for. And there's parts of it, like if you want to go look it up and break down what's in the stimulus, memes on Facebook that's saying, hey, there's this many people in the United States and there's this much. You divide that, it should be much more than 1,400, which is true.
Like $10,000, I
yeah,
think is what.
But
there was a Republican senator that said that said, it should be You just cut all this out and give everyone $10,000.
And nothing against him. He knows exactly what's going on.
Oh yeah,
He's saying things like that because he has followers that are gonna share the crap out of that and not think once or twice. And I'm not advocating. There's a lot of irresponsible stuff that's going on with this stimulus package, shipping it to other countries. But there is a lot that's going to small business. But like I said, it's either you're not gonna get. They're not going to pass a stimulus where they're going to divide it up between how many ever people who need it, give it all to them. That's not how politics works. That would be the number one story on every news station. Is everybody agreed that we should do this and there's nothing controversial with it. And again, I'm not advocating that it was a good or a bad thing. We're just reporting on what happened and how it can affect small business or you in general as an individual. If you want to take this time in your life to start caring about where your money is going in politics, you've missed the boat a long time ago. Because and it's not, you're talking about transparency, none of it's a secret. You can go look up where your money's going, in general, just how much, just look at every budget that the federal government or state government or whatever government you want to talk about, just go and look at budgets they've passed, and it'll tell you exactly where your money's going. So don't be the person on Facebook who gets their political information from Facebook, Twitter, wherever, and you're just sharing memes because they're pretty witty and they're clever, and looking at it from one side kind of makes sense and it's funny and it's outrageous and it's just like, well, yeah, that technically isn't false, but you're not looking at the big picture. Do research for yourself. I don't mean to go on a tangent here, but I would never share. I'm not real political on Facebook or real outgoing, anyways. But even sports news or anything, before I share any piece of information, I always go and vet it. Maybe that's the media broadcasting side of me, but what are you going to do when someone says, hey, that's not true, this is what happened? You're going to delete the post more than likely. So just take 2 seconds and vet it and look at a different source. It's not hard. It doesn't take that long. Man, we got way off on a tangent here.
No, but again, to circle back around, get back on track, we're glad that this stimulus finally was passed, and that hopefully this is going to help a lot of suffering families. And suffering businesses as well.
Yeah, it's not just people who don't have jobs
everybody. Everyone getting back on their feet. I mean, there a lot of that was in this was extending the unemployment, and there's so many things that are needed there.
Yeah, so it's either there are, you're gonna say, lazy people or people who are taking advantage of the system. We all know that. So it's either throw money to help the people who need help, and then obviously that money's gonna get misused, or just say screw it and everybody for themselves. You can't really do that. And I've been blessed and lucky enough to have an essential job where I haven't missed a paycheck. I haven't my wife's the same way. In fact, she works at a hospital, so she was getting hazard pay for a time. So any stimulus money we got, we didn't necessarily need. We're not gonna, call Uncle Sam and say, "Nah, keep it." Because I think that money's better in our hands than in the government's hands. But like I said, we're the kind of people who are going to use that money for the intended use to stimulate the economy, and then people who need to use it for rent or whatever.
There is a good amount of the population that will do that wasn't affected negatively with COVID, but then there's the other side that they really needed this, and they're behind on rents and mortgages and utilities. So they still need that assistance as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that are going to have to get worked out in the long run. I mean, at least here in Texas, we feel like with the vaccine going on and them opening things up, and I think even California's starting to open things back up, that it seems like the end is in sight. But that's not necessarily the reality for a lot of people.
Slowly and surely.
Yeah.
Slowly and surely.
And like we thought about before, they were talking about shutting down the economy for 2 weeks about a year ago, and thinking, okay, 2 weeks and we'll flatten the curve and see what happens a year later after shutting down sports and doing everything.
You talk about that. We're actually coming up on our year anniversary for the podcast.
Yeah, because we started.
Actually, I guess after this, sometime this week.
Yeah, and we were planning on, kind of having a special show, but hey, we might be right at that this week. This might be our 1 year anniversary show, for all we know. But yeah, there's still a lot of people suffering, and I mean, I'll admit it, I'm suffering because I'm a Duke fan, and they're not that they were doing great this year, anyways, but they're out of the ACC tournament, probably out of the big dance because they had a positive test. I mean, it's still, COVID's still out there, but hopefully we're near the end of it, and that's as far as you can go. But talking about the stimulus and things like that, it would be a lie to say some of that money, maybe directly to indirectly, paid for part of Apogee Grafix Studio, the new studio. And I know it's still a work in progress. If you're looking on YouTube, hopefully you think it looks pretty badass, pretty awesome. Me and Tony both have put a lot of hard work into it, and it's taking some financial, hits too. So recently we've been doing some insulation work in it, just to really get it weather tight, soundproof, things like that. And I gotta tell you, it's the last few days it's smelled like insulation, like walking into Home Depot or something. But what's been good to combat that is the little melter I have right up here. You can't see it, but up here I have my little bookshelf with the melter up there. And if you're a friend of the show, you obviously know what I have burning in there. It's Sense in the City, and man, I should have thought about it and tried to figure out. I don't remember what scent it's in there. It's been in there for a while, but I have a few scents from help me out, Tony. What we got? Cowboy.
We have Cowboy, which is like a leather type.
Yes. I think there is one called Leather, but there's a lot of
leather.
You want to call
Bourbon.
Yes, you want to call it some manly scents. It's Cowboy's Prayer. That's what it is. It just hit me. That's the scent I have going on up there. Yeah. But they have a lot of manly scents for this Apogee Grafix Studio. It's also my office. It's my man cave. It's whatever you want to call it. It's my space, my area. But we'd be doing them a disservice if I didn't tell them they had all kinds of different scents.
They do not just wax melts. They have candles.
Yeah, I was getting that. Candles, car fresheners.
Room
sprays, yes.
The carpet fresh.
Yes, they
powder.
do. Mm-hmm.
They have that. We actually just had some of that. And man, I got to tell you, that really works well. Put it in the house. We have a young puppy, and he's had accidents in the house, and just having a dog in your house kind of builds a smell in the carpets. Put that in, vacuum. It really made a big difference.
Yeah, and they're very active on social media. I know we know the person who owns that, so every time I see them post something, I kind of feel like it's her posting it. But
yeah,
it's not like if you were to follow, I'm not even going to give them the time of day during a Sense in the City ad, but if you were to follow a different, a similar fragrance type business on Facebook, you wouldn't get the personalized stuff. I mean, she's always posting. They're at trade events. Your what do you want to call it? Your local downtown things. Farmers market. Yeah. That's where I was looking. Farmers market. They always have deals going on every holiday. You got your Valentine's.
Yes.
I'm sure they have something going on here coming up.
Yeah, we got that Valentine. I got that Valentine's box for Amberly, and it was great. Just the personal touch they put on everything. Yeah, I mean, I think now's the time everyone's getting into summertime and beach feel and fresh and fragrant.
I know they'll have something coming up for 4th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah, spring. I'm sure they all have all kinds of spring scents. That's the thing. It's not just deals they have going on. They have new scents coming out. They have seasonal things coming
all the
out,
time.
you know,
Yeah,
and they always have deals on, some of those seasonal things. They'll have leftovers that they have good deals on. I always see. But follow them I think their Facebook, Twitter, maybe not Twitter, Instagram. That's what I was going to say. But follow them at Sense in the City. It's in the comment box below, wherever you're listening or watching on YouTube. Follow them on social media and let them know if you're going to make a purchase, or even if you don't, if you just want to comment on something and say you heard from them on Business and Beyond. We
yeah,
appreciate it. They did have a deal going on one time. I'm not sure that they do, but we like the feedback. We like, hey, tag us in comments you're posting on there, because we like to know how far our reach is going.
yeah, yep.
And real quickly, leave you hanging there, Tony. Go ahead and talk if you are. I need a refill. You want to talk about
Go ahead. Yeah.
Go ahead and get us on the next
Mine.
topic.
Well, you know what? Let's talk about, man. We didn't get to talk much about I don't know if anyone cares about hearing about it. Our trip down here, man. We enjoyed it, man. We briefly talked about, being out on the bay, taking the kayaks out. We're here in the bay. We're really close to the state park. It's just right when we go out the canal here into the bay. The state park's just to the right. So we actually took the kayaks over to the state park, and they've got some areas you can kind of almost like beach type areas there in the state park. Pull the kayaks right up and get out and walk around, and tons of shells have washed up in there. And the kids just had a great time searching for shells. And it's just anyone, just especially in business, running small businesses, take some time, and maybe now with having a stimulus, spend some of that. And our good friend Anthony, he does it all the time. I love to follow his adventures. Get out and spend time with your family. Get out, just get away from it sometimes. Get your mind off of it and watch the wonders that it does in your business by getting away.
Yeah, we called the Dallas-Fort Worth area home. Obviously, we weren't born here, but we lived here pretty much our entire lives, and I couldn't imagine really living anywhere else outside of this area, because it's obviously thriving. I mean, for the last 10, 15 years, it's the number one, or at least in the top couple, fastest growing, best economy, most companies moving here. And, they hear a lot of slack about, you're not going to get tropical here. You're not going to, it's landlocked. No. It's one of the big, I think, you have to quote me on this, but I think it is the biggest metropolitan area in the northern hemisphere that's landlocked. You may have to quote me on that, but typically, unless you have a big waterway coming through, obviously you're not gonna have a big civilization. But right here, like you said, you're four hours away. We could be at a beach in a few hours. We could head north into Oklahoma and be in the plains. We could head west and get West Texas desert. Even a few hours more west, you're getting mountains. East, you're getting forest. We're only a few hours from just about any kind of terrain you want. I mean, you go a little bit further. I mean, I know Oklahoma gets a lot of snow, and we've gotten a lot of snow recently, but we're not more than 5 or 6 hours away from an area that gets snow a lot. And, you're just talking about Texas and the panhandle of Texas, they get snow all the time. That's nothing weird for them. I mean, you talk about Texas weather. I think there was at one point they were talking about there was a blizzard going on in the panhandle of Texas, and the temperature was in the teens. And down far south near the border, it was about 90-something degrees at the same time. Yeah, just, I'm just kind of taking what you were talking about and bragging about Texas a little bit. And
I think that's a big, a plus for living in Texas. That's one of the pluses to live in Texas. It gets knocked for the heat sometimes, and then depending on where you're at in Texas, the humidity. But
it's all about what you're used to.
Anything you want. You can go down to the hill country, the beautiful hill country, and spend, or you can continue to go down south and hit the beach. There's so much that you can do. And for me, being a Texas-based business, being a Texas-based person, that I have those options. there's no excuse for me to get burnt out on the work and to get so locked in on my work that I can't, refocus. And I think this is good for me this weekend, just to get refocused, man. And I think even if people were just to take a weekend, go to the hill country, go to East Texas, you go come, down here to Galveston, Houston area is nice as well. There's places to go. Go up to Oklahoma.
Yeah, and a couple of times with our dad, I had taken a couple of trips like that, but they were like day trips. It was just like, hey, we're gonna take a trip this Saturday. We're just gonna pick a direction to go. And I know we just spent all day driving one way and coming back, and all just a day trip. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
Where you could end up. We had a lot more planned, but that didn't work out. But we had a bunch more trips planned, but we like I said, we're a couple hours away from Oklahoma. You go one way, we have casinos everywhere. It's not legal to have a casino in Texas, but you go, depending on where you live in Texas, you got Shreveport, you have Durant, you have Windstar. You have so many casinos just in that area, and Windstar is the biggest casino in the world. I'm not comparing it to a Las Vegas environment or an experience, but if you don't want to spend all that money, drive up to Windstar. You can make a day trip or a weekend trip of it, just like you did with going to Galveston. It's like compare it to Florida. We're not saying Galveston's anywhere near Florida. It's got its pluses. I'm not saying Galveston's worse than Florida, but it's different. But if you want a tropical beach, you can have all the same. There's a lot of amazing restaurants down there. Great seafood down in Galveston. When you think of Texas, you don't typically think coastal cities, but they have a very, very big coastline, and you even have Corpus Christi, South Padre, and those are rocking cities right now going into spring break.
Yeah, those are down here in Galveston. You really notice, especially this weekend. I know you get that island feel, and it's an island town. You really do get that.
I know, it literally is. You don't think of it as. I mean, you go over a bridge to get it is an island. Just like South Padre Island, and but it doesn't feel like an island. Like, it just feels like, okay, you're at the coast, but it very much is so. And we've been to Florida, and I've never been to the West Coast or anything like that, but I can't imagine saying, okay, Corpus Christi, Galveston, I could live with that being my tropical destinations for the rest of my life.
I could too.
Call me crazy, call me a homebody, whatever. If you live in California, you may be calling me crazy, but Texas has just enough of everything, and it's good enough. If you want to say that.
Texas is good for business, and it's a good vacation destination. It really is.
I think
the business down here is just booming because of vacation and tourists. You see it big time down here in Galveston.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to it's called The Spot down there. It's a combination of a few different, like, I think it's 2 bars and a restaurant. It's like a combination of a few, but you can walk in between. I think just recently you could actually take alcohol or your alcoholic drink in between each one, because before you had to go to this specific one if you wanted this. And we kind of had issues when we go down there because my wife's cousins who hang out with us at the time were underage, and like, well, we have to go sit over there, but they can bring us some drinks. But I want to say now they have the right license where you can go everywhere. But yeah, go to The Spot. They have a great owner. I know, I follow him on Facebook, and he was really good about supporting his staff with all the COVID stuff.
They took a beating during COVID. And
they did, and
they bounced back. We went by there today, and it was booming, man. It was packed. So I think they're really rebounding from that.
Yeah, he's real vocal on that.
Yeah, he took care of his staff. They couldn't work. They weren't getting hours. They weren't getting paid. He was making sure that he took care of them.
Yeah, and he has other jobs that he. I don't know how much he was taking from The Spot, paying himself as the owner, but I know during COVID he either took a very small check or none at all, and he was he has other jobs he works to make sure that he can, and he's paying his some of his staff $15-$20 an hour. It's not like this is something he vocalizes over. It's not like I don't know the inside track. Personally, I don't know him. I follow him on Facebook, but he makes all this stuff known. But yeah, that's a great spot. And if you I know some people like to take the political stance and say I want to support this company for good reasons. That if you're that kind of person, there's a lot of good reasons to follow them and support them. Other than the fact that I have great food and great drinks, I love down there. And in Galveston, like you said, you're drinking a Galveston beer.
On Seawall Boulevard. They're right there
Yeah,
across from you sit on their deck and look into the
they have interior. They have an interior dining room, but they also have, outside bar areas and eating areas. But they have a lot of, I go down there, I'm not going to drink Heineken or whatever. Like just the same way, I'm not going to go down to Galveston and eat a steak or, I'm eating seafood all the time and I'm trying local beers like you have right now. What are some other than the beer you're drinking right now? Have you had any other ones that you've tried because you were down there and you probably can't get it up here?
They've only all been the Galveston Island brewery beers. Mm-hmm. There's one, it's Pip Pap. It's kind of a chocolate stout type beer. I actually had that at lunch today, and then we had some here that we got. And then I had this Tiki wheat. There was another one I got that was a blonde that they have. It's like a German blonde. That was really good. Yeah, I mean that's kind of our favorite brewery down here that we found is Galveston Island, and they're great people here as well. They've got a great setup. All the restaurants here locally carry their beers, but also you can go. It's not far from where we're at here. You can go to the brewery itself, and they've got a tap room there. You get beer. You can hang out in the back. They've got playgrounds for the kids. I think they're actually under a little bit of renovation expansion. So
yeah, no, the great thing about being down there is there's a lot of obviously we eat at Landry's a lot. I know they're not exclusive to Galveston, but that's one thing. Like the first night we're there, after we drive down there, we unpack, we go eat at Landry's. But there's a lot of small businesses. There's I know, we're a very entrepreneurial family, and every time I watch Bar Rescue, I see that and I feel like, hey man, I could do that. I see all the, I watch enough Bar Rescue to know all the things you're supposed to do. I was talking to my wife about moving to Galveston when we are close to retirement age and opening a bar restaurant down there. And there's a lot of local stuff. That's what we try to, we might go to Sonic or McDonald's or something for, get breakfast burritos or something, because we don't put a lot of thought into breakfast unless we make it ourselves down there. But for dinner, we never, we're not going to Red Lobster or anything like that for dinner. We're always we're going to try the local different stuff. Stuff you can't get up here.
Stuff the locals like, there's down here, down from us a little ways is Sea Isle. There's a marina in the neighborhood. We're kind of in a neighborhood, and everyone backs up to the canals here coming out of the bay, and Sea Isle's the same way, but they have a marina on that end, and it actually has a marina restaurant as well, and that's where we ate lunch on Friday.
It wasn't Willie G's, was it?
No.
Okay, we didn't eat at Willie G's. That's kind of connected right there with the marina. I mean, we've eaten there and had yachts come in and dock right there, drop people off right there in the back. I don't know off the top of my head if Willie G's is a chain or if there are other places in Galveston or if they're just a small restaurant. They're pretty classy, but that's somewhere we always go and eat. But like the same thing, you're not going to get your normal. I mean, you like to experiment with beers a lot, even up here, anyways. But you're probably not going to get your normal beer at dinner. I'll frequent old fashions. I'll get those quite a bit, but normally I look on the menu for something that I've never had before, drink wise or cocktail wise. I'll be more open. I mean, up here when we go out to eat, I might get beer, I might get an old fashioned. That's a safety for me. But I'm less willing to try. I don't want to mess up dinner by getting a drink I don't like. But down there, I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna experiment and try new things. And that's why we try to look for places like The Spot, which we go to every time. I mean, we had such a great experience there the first time we went, before we knew all the background with the owner and things like that. Like, we knew we were going to The Spot every time. It was just a plus when we learned all that we were helping out a great company.
Yeah. No, that's the kind of people we try to support when we come down here, and that we really want to, try and go and eat and just explore. And that's where we like to find our own little places that kind of put them on rotation when we come down.
Yeah, that's something we try to advocate for just in daily life, to keep small businesses there, because small businesses really run the economy. And I mean, it's easy to get stuck on Amazon or McDonald's or whatever, because they have such a big chunk. But I mean, over half of all businesses are small businesses. They make up at least half the economy. And we use Amazon and shop because of the convenience. We shop at Walmart sometimes because it's a lot cheaper than other places. We're not filthy rich and we can just throw our money away. But we try to eat at more local restaurants, and that's something we like to promote here and keep up. We're not, I mean, I just mentioned Amazon and McDonald's and Walmart, but we don't advertise for them. We advertise for the smaller businesses. We were talking about TX whiskey, like, hey, come on, help us out, but that's a local brewer or local distiller, and that's what we like to go for. We're not going to reach out to Coors Light or anybody and try to get them to sponsor us.
Yeah.
So that's really what we're about. We like to keep you up in the news and what's going on with the economy, big business or small, but we really advocate for supporting small business.
Yeah.
And in that sense, maybe that's not the best transition, but supporting one of my friends who, in a sense, has his own small business. He's connected. I don't even know the correct termage, but he sells for Amway, but he very much runs it like it's a small business, and he gets a lot of kickback back here. If you notice, and I know, Tony, you have the same flavors here. We have we've promoted him before. Nick Jimenez, his information will be down below. We've promoted some of his products, and we have some more of these excess energy drinks, different flavors this time. First one I grabbed was which one do you have? Go ahead.
The mango pineapple guava.
Mango. Which color is that one?
Orange and green.
Orange and green. Gotcha. Yeah, that's this one. We're gonna do a test. He messaged me the other day asking how I like these flavors. I said, no, hadn't tried them. I'm gonna do a live demonstration on our podcast. Wow. I know our levels just went way up in the red when I opened that, so I apologize if I made you deaf. Wow, that's very, very. It probably tastes fitting for you to drink that down there in Galveston. This is very tropical.
Good. Yeah, no, it has like a tropical flavor. You can get a lot of that pineapple. That's good. Man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to taste all these times.
Yeah, I know, because we had the benefit of being together last time. It's like, do you want to open them all because you have to finish them all?
Yeah, we split them.
Yeah.
What else? Let's pick one more to.
I had to get some coasters. I'm going to try them all on here because I have people here that can help me, I think. Or I'll just drink them all and be up all night. The next one I grabbed was strawberry. One of the pink ones. And it's not going to open. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, it's not going to open. My clip just broke.
Oh, no. Well, I guess you got to try another one. Mine just opened right up.
Okay.
There's the strawberry.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with the product itself.
Smells like, it smells like those strawberry candies.
Pink grapefruit is this next one I have. I'm hoping it's good because I don't like grapefruit very much. Wow.
Strawberries? Strawberries okay. Strawberry is not my favorite, I can tell you that.
I like this mango one we started with. Now, I don't like the pink grapefruit, But I'm going to tell you, it's because has a very strong grapefruit flavor. That's distinct. I know that. So if you like grapefruit, this is the drink for you. I am, unfortunately, I hate grapefruit. No offense
We've
to
also got dragon fruit, blood orange.
Yeah, this one's mocha. We tested this one. It tastes like coffee. Oh, I am going to bring up, because it was the same color as the mocha, and I didn't notice it last time. There was a root beer flavored one. And there was. Yeah, I didn't tell you about this one. You're a total shock. It was when Patrick was over here and I noticed it and we were tasting it. It tastes nearly identical to root beer if you're a root beer person. I wouldn't say quite like diet, but it had a different taste. Like, kind of was closer to diet, but it only had 10 calories. If you're somebody who can stand root beer, but you are addicted to soda and you just can't get off of it, switch to these. Choice. Yeah, go to The link's all below. For the very first link after our description for these excess energy drinks. Yeah, the root beer flavored. It tasted exactly like I was drinking root beer.
Zero sugars, low calories.
Yeah, it was. I think this mocha one has a few more calories. Yeah, the mocha one has 120 calories, but most of these have 10 calories, I think. This one has 40, yeah. But 10. Very, very low calorie.
Strawberry has 10.
And low energy, and they're not. And you can tell when you drink them, it's not like drinking a Monster or a Reign energy drink where you know it's like, this isn't very good for you. But this one is sparkling energy. Oh, dragon fruit. They're all sparkling energy. The dragon fruit. That's all it is. Weird glare in here. Sorry, I'm having to. These have been sitting out on the desk all episode, so there's the condensation's all over it. Wow, that is not what I expected it to taste like.
Which one is that?
Dragon fruit. It's good, but I can't put a. I was expecting it to taste like fruit punch or something, but that's not what it is. It's good though. If it comes to me, I'll tell you. What do we got?
That one I'm gonna have to try tomorrow.
See, what we should have done is you try out 2 of them or 3 of them, and I try out rather than opening them all. This is blood orange. I'm expecting it to taste like orange soda or something. And that's maybe like diet orange soda or something. But that's kind of the idea of it. It's your orange. But a point we're trying to get across is there's all sort of flavors. So if you...
there's going to be a flavor for every one of these.
Yeah. If you want a healthier option but need that little kick of energy, this definitely helps. They're very bold tastes. So sort of like what you would get from an energy drink for your Monsters or whatever, you have that. That's what I get from it. Mostly not necessarily the caffeine, but it's that taste that wakes me up. Yeah, it's a little it's a bold taste, but not near half the crap that's in it.
Yeah.
But like I said, all that information is going to be below. I keep drinking these. If you see me make a weird face as we're talking, it's probably because I'm just grabbing these and I don't know which flavor I'm tasting. I'm very disappointed. I'm going to have to go to his website and buy a strawberry one because unless y'all know how to open these, I'll keep it. If the tab popped up. I don't think I want to taste it that bad, but we'll see. Got all these coasters laying out now trying to protect top of my desk. Which we don't talk about that much. This is courtesy of Apogee Grafix, not the desk, but the top of it.
The wrap.
Yeah, the wrap.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take pictures and maybe post them on Facebook. If y'all want to see them, let us know. Because this camera and this light's not doing it justice. More like it's a leather design. But anywho, if y'all are interested in that, I don't know. I just talk a lot sometimes. But if y'all are interested, I'll send y'all a picture and we'll post it on Facebook. But thanks to Apogee Grafix for this. Man, this mango one out of these is my favorite. The mango. I think the last time I didn't open this one yet. It's the mocha. I just had it sitting out.
Yeah.
Tastes like your typical cold coffee drink. And he has a lot more too. If you want to, I'm sure there's a way to message him if there's on that link below. If not, get with us. If there was a specific flavor you're looking for, there's a lot of different ones. I think this is, what did we try, 4 or 5 last time? Here's 5 more, and I'm sure there's more flavors involved.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that root beer one is I don't know if I intentionally waited to tell you until we were on air, but
I didn't know.
that root beer, I think I would have. If you're a root beer person, that's probably the best one, because it almost tastes exactly like root beer with freaking 10 calories for these cups. I mean, these are smaller cans, but if you want to look in the camera, they're not incredibly small. I mean, they get the job done.
Yeah, they're the size of like a Red Bull can.
Wow. See, I told you I'd make it. I was thinking that was the mango one. That was the dragon fruit one. So if you have a product that you would like us to review or taste test, we love taste test. Let us know. We'll get you in the mix of all this, because we usually have product reviews going on. But Tony, hope you enjoy Galveston the rest of the weekend.
Appreciate it, man. We will.
And I guess next episode you'll be back in. Everything's normal. Maybe we'll have someone else in the studio or not.
Yeah.
But until next time, I'm Ashton.
I'm Tony from Galveston. See you guys later.